And this is an excellent segue into the next talk that's going to be given by Dr. Susanne Weiss from Jülich in Germany. She's actually part of the group that has done that wonderful Study Forest project. And you're going to hear about a very practical problem in the field. If you've ever tried to use open science data, or you've tried to find a movie watching study and you've encountered any frustrations, this talk is for you. And we really want to come up with a very simple solution to this. And so but we need it to work for all of the kinds of work that you guys are doing. And so we're hoping that this is a place where we can actually solve a problem. So, Dr. Weiss, take it away.
So, first of all, thanks a lot for the organizers to setting up this symposium, which is hugely interesting, or this educational actually, and for having me here, and thank you all for turning up and listening to this. So I'm here on behalf of the Data Catalog group, which is actually headed by Simon Eickhoff, who unfortunately can't be here today. But what I would like to convince you of is that on top of all the data sharing that Sam already talked about, what we really need, or what really will make life a lot more easier, is a data catalog, and I'll explain in a minute what I mean by this. So basically, what a catalog is, in the sense that I'm using the word, is a meta-rich database of data sets. So it's not the data itself, it's a database of data sets, which can help us discover the data sets that we actually want to use, that we actually want to share. And it also provides a single entry point for all kinds of different data sets. So basically the idea is that wherever this data set is located that you're interested in, whichever way it's set up, you access it in one simple way that is absolutely similar across data set. And I'll also have to explain how to do that later. And it additionally has the advantage, not only does it make data sharing easier, but it also makes it easier to capture trends. So by accessing what metadata people use and what they're interested in finding, we can also have a feel on where the field is going and what is of interest and what is trending. So basically what we want is a central database with a standardized data organization and with annotation. And annotation can relate to lots of things. And we want metadata, for example, stimulus annotation, but also other metadata that is specific to our naturalistic paradigms. And we want, as I said, the unified access, reproducible access, so we want to be able, if I do one thing and do the same thing and 1 year later, it will bring out the same result. And we need it to be, and that's actually easy to do, we need it to be scalable and future-proof in the sense that it can evolve with the community and with the standards that will be changing over the next years. So what we all know, or I think, or many of us will know, are these data repositories like OpenEuro, and OpenEuro is great. It's a general purpose repository which has lots of data that can be accessed and shared. And it also has naturalistic viewing or naturalistic imaging data that we can relatively easily find, which is great. But as I said, it's a general purpose repository. It's not specific to naturalistic imaging that we are interested in. And therefore, it would be much nicer if we had all our naturalistic stuff in one place. And also, a lot of data sets are actually not on OpenEuro because people don't really want to or cannot make data and stimuli and things openly available due to, as Sam already alluded to, ethical, legal, and other constraints. And that means that if people do not put the data on OpenEuro because of these constraints, we will not see it in these repositories. And also, we have the problem that particularly in naturalistic imaging, we do not have an annotation vocabulary, so to say. We do not have a standardized way to describe the data, and especially the stimuli, which obviously is much more difficult and much more complex if we're talking about a movie rather than an NBAC task where you give the stimulus duration and very few parameters. Our data is much more, and our stimuli is much more complex than that. So that this was this data-led, catalog can do for us. It has many benefits of this data repositories as well, but it can do more than this. In particularly, it does not host the actual data, it only hosts the metadata. And that is great because that means that even those people or those institutions that do not really want to share their data openly can also be included in this metadata catalog. So we're able to find the data, and then we can organize whether this data will be shared or can be shared. But in the first step, it is shared, it is available, it is findable. And that's done by linking the metadata without actually sharing the actual data. And there's tools like this DataCat, which makes it really, really easy to build a web-based catalog that can be easily searched, that can be searched just in a basic web browser that gives you all the access to the metadata you need. We have a first implementation of a data catalog, which is a data-led naturalistic imaging hub, but it's just a first implementation. And it's nice, it's organized in the way that I said. It has the metadata, not the actual data. But the linking to the data. So it doesn't matter if, for this case, if the data is hosted on OpenEuro, for example, or if it's, for example, the study forest data set that actually sits within our institute. It doesn't really matter. This data imaging hub gives you the possibility to get all these data in an absolutely similar way. You do not have to care where the data sits. You do not have to care, do not have specific need to care about the authorization. Once you have authorization to get the data, you use one data-led command, and it will give you the data. And what is data-led? So data-led is a really great tool to implement all this, because it's a tool that builds on Git and Git Annex, and it allows data access, and it also allows the storage and organization of metadata for finding it. It allows for reproducible analysis by provenance tracking, and it allows for very easy transport mechanisms and sharing data. So basically, the data itself can be in absolutely different places, but data-led with just some very simple commands will allow you to have a copy of this data on your workstation, on your laptop, wherever you want it. And it also has a great benefit that you do not have to have all the data on your computer all the time. Data-led can be very easily integrated into Python script. So basically what you're doing is you're only getting the data that you're actually working with at this moment. Do whatever you want, pre-process an analysis, and then push them back, so you don't actually need to have the space for all the data on your machine, which is also really, really convenient. The other thing is finding the data. So at the moment in this catalog, what we have is a range of keywords, which is nice, but at this point they are manually generated keywords. So somebody sat down and put this data in. And obviously we have comments on the data, for example, for the Game of Thrones on OpenEuro, but they're not standardized in any way. They might be incomplete, they're probably not very organized, and as I said, there's not this common vocabulary. So, and that is what is really missing at this point, and what's also still missing in the naturalistic imaging hub. We need some kind of metadata vocabulary that is specific for naturalistic imaging. It must cover data types, parameters, like in basically every fMRI experiment, but most importantly also stimulus features, and that is where it gets really, really tricky. It sounds easy at first place, but once you think about it, it's really, really tricky. So the question is, can we have a standardized vocabulary? Is it too rigid? What do we need? Can we allow users to contribute, to make the vocabulary grow? But can we still maintain coherence? So it's a bit tricky. So that's where we still need a lot of work to be done to make this whole catalog thing work. But if we can agree on a vocabulary like this, then we can make it really easy to enter the data in a standardized way. So this is not in place yet for the imaging hub, naturalistic imaging hub. It's something we use at our institute, where basically you give users are masks. Once you provide a data set or the metadata for a data set, you get this mask, and there is can be fields for free data, free annotations, but mostly it is you select out of a list of items to make it all standardized and machine readable. And this is also just a toy example that would be the web-based, and in the smaller group, in the work roundtable, we can maybe look at this. It's an example of the study forest data within the catalog, where you have all you can see all the sub-data that are there. You can link all the publications, you can link funding information, anything, and you get, by the use of this DataCat tool, you get automatically generated keywords, so standardized keywords that make it really easy for the users to find the data, but also to make it even machine readable, make it easy to find it in a controlled way. So we have almost everything that we need for this, for building this impactful catalog. We have the BIT standard, we have DataLet as it's standards or tools for structuring the data. We have, in principle, the possibility to incorporate rich metadata, and it's easy by using this DataCat software to build this actual interface, which is searchable on the web and ensures decentralization and scalability. But the one thing that is missing at this point is a standardized vocabulary. And that's something we need to think about very closely before we can really, really get it to work as perfect as we would like it to have. And that's why for this roundtable, I would also like to discuss these kinds of questions, like what do we need, how much information do we need, what features are essential, and things like that. So anybody who is interested in that, on top of questions about the data sharing or catalog itself, come to the data sharing roundtable, please. Thanks a lot.
Great, thank you very much. And I'm just gonna, my own understanding of this, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is this, it's almost like we're trying to come up with a way to make a library card in an old card catalog system for each study that has been done. And that format would be the same, like you would fill it out if you had done your own study, and you could contribute this card to this data catalog so that people can find your work and can then figure out where the data is, if it's available or not, or if maybe some of the metadata is available, and also what you would search for. What would you want other people to be filling out so that you could find the kinds of data that you want? Is that? Yes. Yep. Okay, so we have to pick certain words, but amidst this whole rich stimulus, it's very difficult to figure out what should those words be. So that's kind of what we're trying to think about together. Okay, fantastic.